Make sure that we got all the Taken King information in the same spot for you so you don't miss anything. So we're going to hang out, check out some of the Destiny information coming out of PAX right now. Let's hang out, check it out. Big shout out to YouTube Gaming. You guys are killing it. I'm really enjoying it. The service has been great. The PAX stream has been great.
What's Destiny?
Good going. So let's check this thing out.
Lawrence and I play together all the time. We're dorks. We buy stuff. We know what Zur is and we hate him, but
yeah, he's a little tentacle.
We know what it means to get a Gallahorn 1 week and then maybe be at an event and not get the last word, so thanks, Zur. Anyway, but we're talking about Taken King. We're both very excited about this, and I guess you guys are too, right?
You bet.
Nice. So what are we showing off today? What are we talking about?
Actually, we just have like B-roll footage in that area, new activities, new missions, while you're also getting access to the strikes. The strikes are like you're moving through there's a quest line that drives you through all of them. It's just a very different approach for us.
Like, even the patrols, right? Like, the patrol on the Dreadnought, this is the Oryx's capital ship, doesn't exist until you finish the campaign. Like, why would you be allowed to sneak around, you know, Dracula's fortress and do patrols unless you've, you know, taken over the Dreadnought? So, like, we really wanted to save a lot of content for the endgame.
Yeah, well, like, for me, like, when the first trailer came out and they said, you know, Oryx is pissed, you killed the sun. And I was the one guy going, I haven't killed the sun yet. Yeah. Because we've only done we barely did Vault of Glass on hard. We're a little slow, but we still have yet to do Crota as a team because we just haven't been able to get a crew together.
Killed by association.
Listen, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But
I haven't done Crota either, man.
Because Taken King's coming out, it's pressuring us to go back and play the game again, which is like, for a game that's been out for almost a year now, like, that's unheard of, especially for like a first-person shooter. Like, you guys have really done a lot of work to make sure that guys like us, I wouldn't consider us to be like hardcore with any one game, but we keep coming back to Destiny like for some reason, and I think it's like you have created something that does have replayability, like for the people who get it.
Yeah, we've said a couple
Dude,
times.
I'm the first person. I'm back into Destiny for the first time. Like I haven't played Destiny in the past. I'm playing Destiny right now, and Destiny right now is bad to
someone like my brother
the ass,
played
dude.
like 800 or 900
I'm
hours.
enjoying the shit out of this
maybe,
game.
You know, 150 in the live game. He's a couple levels higher than me, and he has a way broader arsenal, but he's only, you know, a couple levels higher, so we can still play activities together. I can still jump into PvP with him, you know, and that's awesome, right? And that allows the game to be, you know, more compatible with people who only have a couple hours a week.
Right. And I mean, you guys are doing really cool things like reworking how the leveling system works so that people who are maybe jumping in, how they can probably catch up a lot easier. Maybe they want to.
That tether bow is awesome. Do you see that new hunter bow that attaches into the ground?
Yeah, like we, you know, the way you level up in Destiny now, all the way to the max level, is by shooting monsters, completing activities, and finishing bounties. Period. Right? And so, like, if you got stuck at 20 before, and you're like, I don't know how this light thing works, I'm not sure, I'm going to put it down, just come back and shoot more monsters, and you're going to make progress, and that's awesome.
So what went into the change in mode there? Like, basically, what was the player behavior you hoped to draw out with the initial leveling system, and why are you changing
That's
it
a little
out?
bit reductive. It's not that simple.
The player behavior that we drew out was a lot of people quit.
Oh, really?
You know, they hit level 20. They hit level 20, and they either looked at the screen of 18, 20, 22, 24 and said, screw this, I'm out. Or they got to level 20, the game, like a toast pops up and says, now there's a new stat, light, and it replaces and that's really confusing. So one of the things we wanted to achieve, in addition to all the deterministic progression that Mark was just talking about, was a single system that would work the whole time. So from level 1 to level 40, you will always be finding gear that's increasing your light, your character's power in the world. You'll also be generating XP to increase your level. As your level goes up, you can equip better stuff. Like, it's very simple. It's a much cleaner system, and it will never change it will simply not never change. It may change again someday, 10 years. But it won't change while you're actually in this game. Like, from level 1 to level 40, same system. So if people jump in this fall for the first time, like, they're gonna have a simple, like, a pretty seamless experience.
Very cool. And we're looking at some of the new multiplayer stuff.
So as soon as this launches, all the gear is going to have light associated with it, so you'll start leveling up your light from the beginning. That's cool.
I play more than you guys because you're not very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoy it.
I don't want to be good. Only losers are good.
It's fine. But you've also added like a couple new modes and stuff, right? There's like one of the things I really appreciate is like the one where you basically have your ultimate like immediately, like you're just using your superpower over and over.
That's MAM. Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
I think MAM's great because, like, I'll you know, I'm not the best PvP player, and my kill-death ratio is less than 1. I'm a liability for the team when I join. But like in Mayhem, I can have a good time because it's not as competitive. It's more just about having fun, right? It's just chaos, and it's sometimes that's just what you want. Like we wanted Destiny to have an activity for every mode. Some days you want to just turn your brain off and like go on patrols and like just collect materials. Other days you want to I want to coordinate with 5 other human beings and challenge your raid. And sometimes you just want to jump into PvP and watch shit blow up. And that's what Mayhem's for.
I was going to ask, is that going to play into the bounties? Because I know there's always the one of like get 15 super kills. Would that be something that would
That's a
play
sick
into
gun right there,
do you think
dude.
people are just going to farm through Mayhem or something like that, or would that be locked out?
Well, we've pretty significantly overhauled all the bounties in the game. So, in addition to now Lord Shaxx, when you complete his initial quest for PvP, it opens up, and it's a longer quest chain. It's going to take you through and teach
This
you
guy's
about
wrecking,
the
dude.
modes.
I like the
When you finish
gun
that,
that
it
he's
opens
got,
up a
dude.
new
That gun
stack of
is
bounties,
legit.
both on Shaxx and on the PvP Quartermaster.
Pop-up, reticle is sick.
And they're going to play into things like Mayhem and Rift, but I don't recall off the top of my head if they drive you specifically to like the super bounty is a good example. Like I don't know if there's something like that in PvP.
Gotcha. All right, cool.
So you mentioned we were talking about this before. This is something that was pretty insightful. I thought you basically said that Taken King is a new game, like unto itself, in terms of the content and the mechanics you guys are adding. So I'm curious, is the plan to just keep bolting content onto Destiny and just make it bigger and bigger and bigger until it's the biggest game ever? Because at this point, it's like 2.5 games, right? You have base Destiny, 2 DLC, and then Taken King.
Well, without like yet prognosticating too far into to where we're gonna go, I think one of the things that is really important about Destiny is your characters. Like those avatars that you've created and put all this time into. Like however we have to make Destiny games, whether we bolt them on or have to we want to bring those characters with you. Those characters are you. They'll represent your time. Those are the adventures that you've pushed your doll, or I sometimes call them your little G.I. Joe, around the world. Like those guys are really important. Like I like all my 3 characters. I have maybe I have creepy little backstories written about all of them at home. You don't know. You don't know me.
It is a dolly dress-up simulator, and I like it. I made a mistake, though. I made a female hunter, and then upon reflection, I realized I'm not a woman. Would I ever be able to go back and switch my gender if I wanted to, or maybe I want to be a different race entirely?
Would I ever is the exact kind of open-ended, time unlimited question that we love to get, which is, we definitely talked about before, like, Mark's character looks like He-Man. Like, Mark's pretty excited about a character recustomizer, and I think that I made a female Titan, and when I see how the male Titans look with giant shoulder pads, I sort of wish that I could switch her. And so we have nothing. We're not doing anything this fall. It's something that we're going to continue to talk about at work.
Gotcha. Well, I mean,
Interesting. Okay.
What you guys are doing at Bungie's, like,
I don't know. Lock it
you're
in,
not
man.
abandoning the game. You guys are working on it. You're adding things in. I see you guys. You're listening. I see you guys on the subreddit, and it looks like you guys have to read a lot of feedback, a lot. But the fact that you guys are like hiring people within the community is great. That's really cool.
And like we are committed to Destiny in like a pretty unusual way for a console game. Like we have this long plan, and and we've talked about maybe more than we should have. But everyone knows we're going to be making Destiny for a long time, and your character is persistent. It's going to continue for a long time. So we have some plans that are weeks out, and some that are months, some that are years, and just knowing that we're that committed.
This
to
new
it,
mode
like,
looks pretty
every
sick.
month, Destiny's going to
Looks
get
like
better,
a control
right?
point
Every
mode where
corner
you
it's
got
gonna
to
get
destroy
better.
that
Every year,
rift.
It's going to get better.
I don't know if one
And
person's
so,
trying to
I'm
defend
really
and the
excited
other
to see
team's
what
trying to
Destiny
destroy.
look like 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now. Like, how good can it get? Like, we're going to find out.
Cool. Yeah, I know, Luke, you had some like real talk recently. I forget which magazine it was, but there was I read a text interview, and you're talking about there was a misconception about what a 10-year plan versus a 10-year game means.
Oh, that was sick.
Yeah, well, the particular
See
quote
that
you're talking
charge,
about
dude?
is,
Wow.
Eric Osborne said, 10-year, like I drive a Honda Civic. I don't know shit about a 10-year plan. It's a partnership or something like that. But really, what we're talking about is like the thing Mark was saying. Like we're committed to Destiny. We're committed to the franchise. A bunch of us. I mean, we love it at work. Like we play the shit out of it. And we're so grateful to have basically, I think the loudest community that we've ever had at Bungie. And we've always been lockstep with our community and involved deeply with them. Like, we've hired a ton of people over the years out of the community. You could argue that I was hired out of the community too, because I'm a huge Bungie fan, was before I got there. And it's just like the veracity and appetite for interaction that the community has with us. Like, that's amazing. And, that makes coming to work every day to work on this awesome thing that much more exciting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I've been a long-time Bungie fan myself, and I followed Halo for years, and I don't know.
Really?
If there was
Rooster
ever a
Teeth
Halo
followed
convention. I saw
Halo?
recently
Big
there was,
surprise.
like, DestinyCon in Tampa, Florida. That's pretty amazing for a game that just came out
DestinyCon.
within the last year. There seems to be a lot of fandom behind it.
It was all the amazing thing about that get together was it was all community, like streamer driven. Like this guy, I think his name is Gathalion, like set it up and brought everyone down to Tampa, and it became this huge event that, you know, I didn't realize. Yeah, it was awesome to watch, like even from afar, just to get to see all that happening. Like it was so cool to see people come together around this game that we're working on.
Well, I know you guys had your community night recently. I remember seeing a giant Vex walking through. That was fun. I was, like seeing the actual cosplay and the people, like the sort of fandom behind it, has been a lot more surprising than I thought it would be. Like, people
I don't know, dude.
Well,
Look at
there's
this.
a
I
guy
mean,
with a
you're
shank,
surprised,
like
really?
a shank helmet. Did you see that?
Look at these,
I
dude.
guess
Look at
there's
how
some
beautiful this
gathering in
game
the
is.
courtyard today. There's a bunch
I
of
don't know.
Destiny cosplay, and this guy built this amazing shank, and you put it on your head, and it's like incredible. And inside there's like an iPad or Android screen, and so you can see where you're walking around because there's no like obvious eyes. And so it looks like a shank. And like I was walking around in this dark bar last night, walking up to people with a shank head with, you know, like a gun on the front of it. It's incredible. Like people have just taken cosplay and their fandom to like a new level.
Oh, sick.
And it's rad.
These new multiplayer
Well,
maps
people
look
like
sweet.
Thorn and stuff like that has always been like, people love their weapons, people love their characters, and you guys have created something that like people have some sort of attachment to, and like that's, I don't know, that's an accomplishment. That's pretty crazy. So, not that you needed to hear that. I'm sorry.
It sounds like it was all part of the plan, though. You want to develop that relationship, which is fascinating because Destiny, when it started, I mean, it was pretty light on story because it was the story of your character. It was the story of you playing the game. And it kind of defies expectation. A lot of developers seem to think to get fans invested in something, you have to wallop them over the head with a story. Like, hold on for a second, let me tell you the history of my people, and this will make you care. But Destiny was more like, no, we're going to give you a fun game to play, and then you'll care. So I don't know if is that still the mantra? Is that changing?
No, I mean, I think the pendulum swung a little far last year with not having sort of enough like grounding and story in the world, and there are a bunch of reasons for that. And in some ways, you're right, man. We did prioritize a lot of the feel of the gameplay and a lot of the systems development was where we put
And
a
your
lot
character,
of our focus.
which I care more about my character than I've
really
like
committed
cared
to
about
making
a
sure that the story
first-person
is more
shooting
clear.
avatar
Like
in any game ever,
addition to
guaranteed.
Questlog this year, which has been a tremendous labor of love for the engineering and the UI teams back at Bungie, is this amazing screen that it sounds so silly whenever we talk about quests as a new thing, because it's something that, you know, most games sort of understand already.
Right.
But when you add in that context and you add in the like, this is why you're doing it, this is who's telling you to do it. Here's a cool piece of flavor text from the Ghost or a Core Arcade, and also the essential, like, here's the reward you're going to get at the end of it. Like, just that in and of itself is going to give you a little bit more trajectory in the world that I think you didn't necessarily feel last year.
Yeah, well, that was one of the things I noticed with House of Wolves, like, your ghost never talked to you, and that was, I guess, a symptom of having, you know, a switch of the voice actor. And I was like really excited when you guys switched the voice change, because it meant that you have someone who can come back in. It means that this character is a character again. I thought that was pretty cool. Like,
Yes.
that was like a tough call to make at some point.
Oh, what a
You guys
shot.
just
That was
decided
sick.
This is what was inevitable, that you needed to switch it.
I don't know, in a way, I'll step back for a second. It was sort of a blessing in disguise that the Ghost had to be silent for a bit, you know, while we were changing actors, because it made us focus on some other characters, right? Like, Varix and Petra became these really prominent characters in Destiny, and you know, with the rollout of the Reef and everything, it was really interesting. So, like, I actually think it was good for the Ghost to be quiet for a while, and now he's back. They can all talk, right?
Yeah.
Like, they all get to come back, and we're really, with storytelling in year 2, we're really trying to, you know, pump the characters up more and make, you know, character-driven stories more about,
That was sick.
you know, what the game's about.
Yeah, just in the one strike we saw, I think we saw like 4 different characters pop up, some of which we haven't heard from since like the Dark Below, and we're like, oh, this is cool. Eris is there, nice. Like, forgot about her, and it's like, it's nice that you guys are. It feels like you started here with the story, and it's pulling it back a little at a time.
Dude, there's some shit
For a video game,
going
for me
down
personally,
here.
That's how storytelling should be done. It shouldn't
Oh.
be straight in your face, but you're also allowing us to skip cutscenes, which is nice. So like, you're giving us more, but allowing us to skip the parts that we don't want to watch again. So I was like, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, seeing some of those cutscenes three times on 3 different characters, like, or when it pops up after the daily's over, like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of it hampered me from wanting. I didn't want to redo the Black Garden bounties because I was like, well, I don't really want to watch the last cutscene again because I got an appointment later. I got to go. So
It doesn't matter how good your story is or how good the cutscene is. If somebody sees it 30 or 40 times, they start to like resent it, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Very cool. And you were talking about expanding on some characters like Xur. Are there any other characters that you've been talking about? Like,
God, that's
maybe
sick, dude.
expanding on the
I'm gonna
speaker
play
or anything
Destiny
else,
right
any
after
other
this.
ones that we've
Kick
seen
my
already?
son off of that.
I mean, I think that our main
PvZ.
character expansions this time around really focus on the relationship between Eris, the Hive, the Taken, and Cade. When you have a character like Eris, who is a pretty interesting character from the Dark Below, and she's very connected to the Hive in some way that we haven't completely explained yet. And you pair her with Dathan Fillion, like basically like Captain Mal, like that's an amazing pair of like salty and sweet. And those two have this thing where they riff off of each other in the game in a pretty cool way, and people are going to get a good look at what's going on between these two and what's going on in the
hammer throwing is
in the
legit,
Vanguard
dude.
while you're away.
Gotcha. This is just like more of a long-term question, but you've already expanded. You know, we've gone through a lot of the solar system. We've been to a lot of planets. Will you ever open up other parts to the planets? Like, we'll go out and do patrol missions on Mars, and you look out there and you're like, I want to go over there, but you can't. Is there any plans to eventually expand those maps?
I think that not speaking about this fall, but I think looking forward, it would be it's an opportunity that we have to like go to other places on Earth, or is there something other than the Cosmodrome on Earth in the future? Like, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope that it's not just Earth and the Traveler. Like, that's it. Cosmodrome and the Traveler. Everything else is gone. Like that.
The Earth is covered in rusted out cars. Like nothing else there.
That's all that's left.
That's all we got.
Like what we do want people to see something in the distance and anticipate it, you know. And we've done some of that in the Taken King. Like you're gonna go inside one of those colony ships in Cosmodrome you've seen for a long time, or even on Mars again. Like Phobos has been floating above Mars for a while, and you know the Taken King's campaign starts on Phobos. You're gonna go up to that, you know, the moon of Mars, and so that is something that we're really excited about. Going to, you know, expanding on the world that you've kind of been to is part of the expansion of Destiny's universe.
Very cool.
I have a very important question.
Exciting.
Vital. So, in the beginning of every Crucible match, how do you decide who gets to hold the stick?
I actually don't know.
Damn it.
I don't know, but my friends always like I think it's something like yeah, someone's gonna totally correct me, but I think it's something right now if the light is tied for everyone in the live game, if everyone's like a 34, then it might default to highest Grimoire score or something. Like that seems like a logical way for it to work, but people in the audience are like shaking their head like that's not how it works.
Yeah.
So maybe you could ask them afterwards. I don't really know how it works.
Tell me through clapping.
What?
What?
I think it's I hear it's random.
Random. Well, I never get to hold it. Adam doesn't either. It's
What? I held the stick once. It was
did?
cool. Yeah.
Oh man.
If you play skirmish, there's a better chance of you holding the stick.
Oh,
It looks cool when you hold the stick.
We should sort it the way that I suggested then.
I agree.
That's fine.
Then I might have a chance. No, wait, I wouldn't actually. Don't do that.
Before we get out of here, though, for those who don't know, when can people get their hands on the Taken King?
September 15th.
Hell yeah.
You heard it here first.
First. Exclusive.
No, it's not at all. Well, I want to thank you guys, Mark and Lou, for coming by. I know it's been a lot of work, and we're both very excited.
Oh, yeah.
And I think everyone else is here, too. So thank you again for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Taken King.
I'm
I'm excited about it.
All
All right,
And
guys.
then go to Joel.
Adam,
We're
you're
gonna
still
wrap
talking.
up some
Stop
Taken
talking.
King, guys. You can catch it all right here. We're getting ready for the
Thanks,
launch,
guys.
9:15.
I'm here.
You know where to find it. Thanks for stopping by. This is Easy for Dotp TV. More Taken King info. We'll catch you. Peace.